And last but not least, you want your corn knee-high by July? Better get the plant, boys.
I make my living off the land.
This corn's beautiful.
With aching back and calloused hand.
A lot of things got to go right, yeah.
The old man said you reap what you sow.
This could be some pretty phenomenal numbers.
Out here in these fields of gold.
Why it's called yellow gold.
I work harder, work harder. I get the job done, yeah, I'm a farmer. I don't back down no matter what comes my way.
Crazy year, right?
I'm an early riser, an all-nighter. Call me plowboy, yeah, I'm a fighter. Ain't gonna stop till they put me in my grave.
It's gonna be a fun year.
I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior.
I'm Jake Drozd. We're up here in Allegan, Michigan. Today we're hoping to do a little tissue sampling and scout some corn. We'll go check out the Prevent Plant Ground. We have about 500 acres of that. We're gonna run a high-speed disc that we invested in this spring. We got wind again last week from the Iowa storm. Not as bad as them, but there's definitely some corn blown over and knocked around. So start the day out, we'll go get this pivot turned on and we'll get rolling here. Right. So the power's on, we just gotta turn the well. Oh, now we wait. When we go to a pivot panel, you never know if they're gonna be hot, whether it's after a storm or you don't know if a mouse got in there over the past days you had it off or whatever's going on. But obviously water and electricity do not mix. Whenever we go up to a panel, we tap it, we backhand it 3 or 4 times like that. If the pivot were hot, it'll blow your hand back. Whereas if you just go up and grab it, you know, it's just gonna be live electricity waiting to take you in. This one seems to be good. We're all pressured up now. We can walk out here into this corn real quick if you want to do that. This corn was planted June 4th, I think. So, I mean, it's late planted, so we're not expecting much from it. So, this corn just got done pollinating about a week ago, so I mean, it's brown silked. It's not very far along. Shovel it up, check it out. Yeah, it's just coming out of the blister stage. This is some of the toughest ground I'd say in the United States to farm. It is tough stuff here. And then come harvest time, it's always wet. So we don't hardly harvest corn until about noon every day. It's just so wet. We're over here at a field we call Badger Milbacher. It's owned by the Tree Farm. We planted about 100 acres of sorghum. It's kind of become our 3rd crop in a way. It started out as a joke to try to win the contest. Nobody's ever entered in Michigan, and since we never can win the damn corn contest, figured might as well try this, and so well it worked. We were the first ones to ever enter in the state of Michigan, and we ended up winning it. We had 155 bushel our first year. But one of the cool things I found here today was you can see all 3 stages of sorghum pollination. It goes in thirds. It'll do stage 1, stage 2 here in the middle, and then stage 3 will be this bottom. Stage 1's already done, so you see it's moved on to the second half right here in the middle. This one's already gone through the 2 stages. It's on to that last stage, just starting that last stage right now. And then we just cut this one. It's all done. So, I mean, that's pretty darn good. I have a tougher time getting those bottom ones. If there's any distilleries out there, if you ever want to try some sorghum for some whiskey, get a hold of me. There's no doubt the corn is definitely better than 2019. There's across the nation. I think the top end's gone. I think pollination was good, not great. That's everywhere. I come out here and speculate and watch somebody will probably grind me on that for that, so we'll see. And how somebody's probably gonna grind me for having red sorghum. I mean, they're probably gonna say, oh, you need to have yellow sorghum. Oh, I guess we'll go run a high-speed disc. We're disking some Prevent Plant Ground, possibly getting ready for wheat. We disked up all the contest corn. We saw Eric's and figured it's time to give up. This RX tractor is new to us. Our dealer came back with some really good numbers on a used one. It's nice, it's smooth. Ground here we're disking It's some pretty heavy clay. We got 3 or 4 towable pivots we got to tow here tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that. The only fun part about that, I guess, is just, no, actually, no, there's nothing fun about towing pivots whatsoever. So, yeah. One thing we tried new this year on one field was we tried Veltima, 1, and 2, we sprayed a little earlier. We went 5 to 6 leaves before tassel to try to combat tar spot a little quicker, and so far that corn, it looks pretty darn good. And ooh, there we go. Well, it looks like we have an issue. Steering system redundancy. That's a fun one. So now we're going 6 miles an hour, so this is cool. So I guess we're gonna head to the front, and I guess we're gonna go tissue sampling. Anyone at Deere, you have a chance to make my day, because I get more codes than I get DMs from girls. We better fix that pretty soon.
No matter what the weather throws at us, Pivot Bioproven is harnessing what is naturally within the soil, making nitrogen available to the plant.
Where I applied Pivot Bioproven, the average across the whole field was about a 5 to 6 bushel an acre benefit.
And we know that large rain events are not going to leach that nitrogen out into our water.
Gives you kind of that peace of mind that you're going to have 25 to 40 pounds of nitrogen that's there and safe.
To make this a financially and environmentally sustainable business.
Gonna mix up some Veltima. Still here is my second shot. And all I'm running is fungicide and some boost, you know, some sugar. Beautiful day today. Not a cloud in the sky. This is what we need. Next week they're talking more rain coming in, more cloudy days, and that's what's gonna kill us. You know, here at Filling This Kernel, we just need every day to be like today.
Today, we're gonna get the tanker and stuff ready so my dad can go spray some corn. Yeah, I gotta make sure my dad's out of trouble. It's kinda hard to keep him out of trouble. I'm backup crew.
We are fungiciding today, doing our second shot. This year on our fungicide program, we are using Veltima. And we like what we see on our early shot. I mean, it's clean. We should be good the rest of the way through, really. So yeah, I mean, we got some disease coming in spots, gray leaf spot mainly. The next county over, they have confirmed southern rust. And I guess that's our biggest concern. That's why we like the ground rig, to get better coverage and, you know, just kind of protect for that. We're just over 2,000 GDUs, so I mean, I think after Labor Day, we'll be shelling some of our early corn. So we're 3-4 weeks off. This 300 bushel corn, it's not easy. And to get to harvest and see what you got, I mean, that's the best part. Yeah, this stuff's a lot shorter than cobs because, you know, I put big ears on. My plant don't put all that energy to that big plant and that little ear. I like short plants and big ears. That's what I grow. This is some of my April planted corn. This is an AgriGold 6659. And yeah, this is actually the first field I planted. We'll go see what we got. This did hit the heat pretty bad and we got some tip back. Concerned about it a little bit, but we can fill these kernels out. I think we still got a decent yield. That's the worst part, we got tip back. So, I mean, I think we're looking all right. We got some yield potential here, but we definitely lost some bushels. It's early to be denting. I mean, I don't think it's gonna dent any more than this. But you know, we're filling kernels. We got a long ways to go. The longer you can keep the plant alive, the more you're gonna feel that kernel and better opportunity you got. 34 long on that one. That's what I've been seeing, 34 to 38 on the link, 16 by 38 at 65,000 kernels per pound. You know, we're talking 300 bushel corn at 38,000. So we'll just see. I mean, every year we'll tweak it a little bit and hopefully get her keyed in here.
I'm Brandon Cardinal here at our watermelon operation, packing some seedless and seeded watermelon today. Running a seedless variety of Captivation, all sizes. Going pretty good today. When we're picking out in the field, we typically use school buses, old school buses to haul it in. It's been getting a little too much rain, so now we're using our 4020s and some wagons we still have around. So getting it up there with that, unloading it on the belt here, it goes through a brush system, cleans them, goes on in, gets graded by a couple guys just to, you know, pick out some scarring and different things. Goes up to a sorting belt, gets sized. Once then it goes to our other shed and shipped out from there. Best tasting watermelons you're gonna find, sweetest around.
I gotta go out here, we gotta tissue sample 2 corns and make sure it's still alive.
This field has been beautiful all year, but boy, she hasn't had much more rain to work with.
You can see we had some wind here. Pushed it over more than I thought. Normally we'd be looking for spider mites, but it's so dry that all the bottom leaves are dying off already. And that wind obviously kicked this hybrid's ass a little bit. We started pulling these tissue samples across this field from a V3, and we'll do it all the way to black layer to get a baseline, and then we'll do it for a few years to get the soil type down to give us a yield goal. They're not entirely accurate, but what's your other option?
Back in my earlier days, we didn't do tissue sampling, or we did soil sampling, and we weren't even as, I would say, as picky about that either. You know, we didn't look into it as far as micronutrients. So a lot has changed, but we're asking for a lot more yields. So we got to start watching things more. If you got an inch of rain on this, it'd be real interesting to see how much it shoots stuff up in the tissue samples. See some of the wind damaged ones. It definitely affected the ear a little bit. If it's bent over more, the ear's not as good.
This was wind back in July. Didn't even pollinate. The corn didn't even pollinate. So I mean, it might as well be flat on the ground, to be honest with you. That's not a dig at anybody, but it might as well be flat. It looks like this hybrid's actually standing up to the heat quite a bit better. You can see those leaves. These leaves here are not falling yet. The only thing that might be getting them is a little bit is, could have had some spider mites, but we're gonna take care of it this week. We're gonna add a second shot of Altima at 7 ounces, and then we will probably put 6.4 ounces of insecticide out here too. These ones I'll probably cut when I get them home, just to get this part off, but there's no sense in bringing scissors out here. You can cut those at home pretty easy. Hell, you take them home and you can use a pair of hedge clippers. You don't even have to cut them individually. There's probably still 3 to 4% double ears out here, full double ears that made it. So, yeah, it would have been cool to see if it was under a pivot what it would have done, but oh well. Maybe next year. Kevin's corn's probably a little better.
That's why you're the rookie.
As is everyone else's probably too. Yeah, here was one of the second ear. It was ready to make, but I think over the past week it just finally said no. So.
All right, so what we're doing now is we're just getting the skid steer loaded up on the trailer. We're gonna go take care of our 1 of 4 pain in the ass towable pivots. We just kind of use it as a jack and getting stuff around and done faster. So nothing to it, just kind of time consuming. What do you think? 45 minutes?
We can move a 4-tower pivot.
Under an hour?
Yeah, we can do it just under an hour. I mean, the towing part, nobody should ever go fast. You're just gonna crash your pivot. But
yeah,
we can make pretty good time turning the tires and turning back. So our goal is probably less than an hour. So I don't know, maybe this will be our first time we actually time it. Right?
Field we're going to first, we call it Browns. It's a field in Gobles, just south of here. And then we'll be going to a field we call Shanks in Paw Paw.
We just got done towing the pivot. 45 minutes. We probably could have shaved an extra 5 to 10 off. We had a little goofing off there, but it's all right.
Well, we were going along pretty good. We got to the last tower. We may have caught word that we were at like the 40-minute area, so we started speeding it up pretty good. Really wanted to kick it in gear. I guess the only thing I got to say about towable pivots is some of the yield gets shaved off from that too, because it's harder to keep up on watering, especially in certain spots. This spot here, we couldn't tow the second setting until later in the year, so that side there is it's a lot more dinged up than this half that we're standing on.
I mean, so far we haven't killed each other, so I mean that's probably
I think it's been
probably a good start.
I think the biggest thing is we've been so busy we've never had much time to be pissed off, really. So we're usually pissed off about the same things.
So yeah, it's definitely never at each other.
Yeah, no, I think as long as we keep busy and going after the same goals, not too much trouble. We'll see how harvest goes. That'll be fun to see the results, and I think that'll be rewarding.
There'll definitely be some depressing results, I can tell you that.
There'll be some good ones too.
Check out this shit. Is that what you call sprayer blight? Man, that sucks. This was planted May 2nd. This stuff has looked really good all the way through. This hybrid is actually a little worse on tip back. I'll show you in a minute. It's pretty depressing, but you know, still think we got some decent corn here. I mean, this hybrid here is 648.54, 118 day. So check that out. That's what we're up against. That hurts bad. It's 20 by 32. So it's still 20 by 32. We're getting some decent kernel depth already. You can tell if we're 32 there, I mean, just think of what we could have been. That's what hurts. That's what, I mean, that's what people don't realize. The work. You want 300 bushel corn, you got to fight to the end every year. That's just the way it is. Just a lot of management. So we're in some of our bottoms ground here. We did a pivot bio test with and without. And right here where we're at is where we ran pivot bio. So we figured we'd dig some roots here and then go over where we ran it without. See if we can tell any difference. We were down here, I guess, last weekend looking at this, and we were filled out pretty well to the tip. We had 7 days of rain and cloudy weather, and we're aborting kernels. So right there's another good example of not having sunlight has done to us. We've aborted more kernels here in a week. So, yeah, more depressing news for 2020. So if we count them, 16, 36 to there, 18, 37 of there. So that's a plus. Yeah, like I've always said, it all goes to yield, so that's where the true test is at. And I mean, according to the years, we got more kernels, so yeah, this one definitely heavy. It better be. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think we got a better crop than what we had last year, but any more than that, I mean, it's gonna be tough, I ain't gonna lie. You know, I guess the last 3 days we've been good. We've had beautiful weather, sunshine, and that's what we need from here on out. And see how friendly Mother Nature is to us. The best part with being in the CornWarriors show is, I mean, honestly, is just the relationships with everybody. And it goes on beyond just the Warriors, but just gained so many connections with being on the show and meeting people all over. And you know, with competing against Kevin and being friends and being in the MAC group with him, you know, I'll probably let him win this year, maybe next year, but the third year, I'm gonna have to put it on him.